Hello friends, welcome back. I hope you find this deep learning playlist pretty interesting and I am sure you are learning something useful out of this. This session is going to be a new topic for you and we are going to learn autoencoders. This is one of the very important areas in deep learning which you must definitely know. We are going to understand the fundamentals, then we will construct it. We will also implement it as a code. We will develop the model. Let's get into the session right away and we will understand things easier. Right, I'm heading back to the basics again. We have discussed supervised learning and unsupervised learning techniques in my machine learning playlist. I hope you remember it. CNN, RNN architectures are some of them which can be tagged to supervised learning. But we are going to talk about autoencoders which is getting tagged under unsupervised learning. We need to learn autoencoders and understand very clear point that autoencoders are unsupervised and no explicit labels are required to train the model and raw input is sufficient for the training. These 2 points are fundamentals and remember it. No explicit labels required, raw input is sufficient for training the model. Let's get into the core area. An autoencoder is a simple, as compared to ML or deep learning algorithms, whatever we have learned till now, it is definitely simple. It is relatively a simpler model which is going to help us out in acquiring the image. It will compress it, it will reconstruct it. That's it. Acquire, compress, decompress and reconstruct it. That's it. This is called dimensionality reduction. Well, the dimensionality reduction is mostly used in pre-processing, which we have seen in some of the cases. In this case, we are going to go with the dimensionality reduction, which is going to condense or reduce the dimensions, reduce the dimensionality of the considered data set. What do you mean by this? A very simple example. When I am considering a data set or for example an image, there could be multiple features that are attached to it. Do I need all those features? No, I may need only few of them. So dimensionality reduction will help you in acquiring only those features which are of your interest, and that's what it is all about. Autoencoders are 100% meant for this dimensionality reduction. You can see a simple picture that I have given here. The original input is given into the encoder and the compressed representation happens here, the compression happens here, and then the decoder decodes it and reconstructs the input. The input and output are the same, but I'll have a catch for it. Maybe a little later I'll explain you what. Right. Don't we have any other techniques till date for this purpose? Yes, we have got few. PCA is one of them, principal component analysis. What is it? Very simple, they also do dimensionality reduction. But only difference between the dimensionality reduction done by PCA and autoencoders is the PCA will go ahead with linear transformation, whereas the autoencoder will go with non-linear transformation. The dimensionality reduction happens through linear transformation in PCA. It happens through non-linear transformation in autoencoder. That's the major difference. Right. How autoencoders work? Very simple. They are feed-forward networks. I told you what is feed-forward networks. From the left, it goes on to the right. No coming back. A particular point will not be reached twice. That's it. Just remember that point. Right. Autoencoder has got 3 layers: input and the intermediate layer, the final layer. The input layer, the hidden layer, and the final layer. The input layer is normally never considered when you talk about neural networks. So officially it is 2. We have 3 layers. Officially it is 2 layers. The hidden layer and the output layer are the most seen and valued layers when you talk about neural networks. The hidden layer is also referred as bottleneck. Remember it. The hidden layers are also referred as bottleneck. Now, understand this final point. This is very important again to conclude what autoencoders are all about. I'm going to give an input as 1111000000 to the system, to the autoencoder. So what will happen? The output should exactly be the same. 11110000 is the output that I want. Now, the input is the same thing that is going to come as the output. Not exactly. There is a small change or small point that you need to remember in it. But remember, autoencoders are generally meant for just reproducing or replicating whatever input is given, and the same has to be obtained as output. But there is a small catch there which you are going to see. I am going to present you a simple architecture of an autoencoder, which I will talk about a little later also under a different name, and that's going to be more detailed. But for now, understand that this is the autoencoder that we are talking about. It has got an input layer, it has got a hidden layer, and it has got an output layer. The input layer will send input, and the hidden layer is going to do all the work for us, and the output layer is going to get it. The input is encoded, and the before output it will be decoded, and you get the final output. That is it. Now, understand, input layer is always ignored when it comes to neural networks. So we are going to consider as two-layered architecture. We have got hidden layer, which is also called as bottleneck. We have got output layer, and the input is encoded out here, and we get it decoded and the final state. Now, a simple example would help you. I am sending 8 pixel values as input to this autoencoder. Now, it will be compressed here as 5. For example, the 8 gets compressed as 5. But when it comes to the output layer, the reconstruction will happen, and it will be reconstructed again to 8. That's the simplest thing that you need to remember, the reconstruction, right? What are all the things that are required to build an autoencoder? An encoder, which is going to do the encoding, a decoder, which is going to do the decoding, and a loss function. To compare the output with the target, we need this loss function. And remember, there are very important 3 features or characteristics that are normally attached or tagged to the autoencoders. They are, first one, data specific behavior, second one, the lossy compression nature, third one, unsupervised nature. So what are they? We need to learn it. Now the first one, data specificity. What is this? I am training a network for specific data. For example, I am training an autoencoder for compressing cat images. If you send donkey images, it would not understand, and the results will not be as you expect. So this is working on what you have already trained on. That is called data specificity. Second, lossy. What do you mean by lossy? Very simple. The expectations may not be met always. What do you mean by that? I am sending an input. The output has to be exactly coming as input, but it may not happen always, and there would be some loss. And this is called lossy version. If you want no loss at all, do not come to autoencoders. It is not your option. Now next, what is unsupervised and self-supervised? It can be called unsupervised or self-supervised character. What is it? We need to just feed the raw data and no labeling is required. That's called unsupervised. And to be precise, this should be called self-supervised because they generate their own label from the training. Now if you see, I am sending an input image, it gets encoded, and it gets decoded, and output is uptime. It is not the same image that I have gotten. I have got some degradation here, and this is what is referred as lossy. A better picture is presented here for your easier reference. I have got the input, it goes to the code here, encoding happens, and it goes to the code here, and then it gets decoded, and we get the output. You can see that this is the degraded version or slightly downgraded version of the input. I hope we learned the fundamentals of what an autoencoder is. In the next session, I am going to teach you the types of autoencoders, which is going to be important as well, which will be followed by an implementation of an autoencoder type called convolutional autoencoder. I hope the sessions are useful. If you like the channel, please subscribe. If you have comments, suggestions, please go ahead and type it in the comment section. Thank you.